Listen, all you New Yorkers. Yippee! Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
The funniest thing, is hearing us sift through this. Now, let me give you something. I don't want to read names because I'm going to speak just generically because I don't want to mention names of people that I don't know who these people are. But from what we are hearing, and an individual that Mr. Blaze has, you've guaranteed is 100% reliable, and you're putting your reputation on the line for this. But a man, I'm not going to mention his name, but appears to be the individual recently identified in connection with the ongoing investigation into the disappearance or kidnapping of, he writes, 89-year-old Nancy Guthrie. Well, she's 84. From recent reports and social media discussions as of February 11th, by the way, this is how people are so good at deep diving this. He is described as approximately 36 years old. Authorities recently pulled him over and detained him in Rio Rico, Arizona, near the Mexican border. He works or worked as a FedEx and DoorDash driver, which has led to speculation that he may have had prior knowledge of or access to the victim's home or area through deliveries. Investigators linked him to a Bitcoin address mentioned in a ransom note related to the case. He is not confirmed to be directly responsible for the kidnapping itself. Some sources suggest he may have served as a middleman, for example, handling cryptocurrency, or opportunistically tried to profit from the situation. A search warrant was executed at his girlfriend's mother's home, where electronic devices were seized. His father apparently has a conviction for a variety of sexual assaults. This individual, not suspect, but the individual who was stopped. Some reports initially confused the two due to the shared name. The mother-in-law of the detained man, actually the mother-in-law, or the mother of the girlfriend, appeared on news outlets and defending him, insisting he was home at the time of the disappearance and had no involvement. He was at home at the time of the disappearance, so he might not have been there during the disappearance. Is the ring, let's call it the ring camera. Is the ring camera photo at the time of the disappearance, or was that some other time? When was this? What time was that? The information stems from breaking news coverage, Reddit discussions, and missing persons communities, ex-posts tracking the case in detail. Details are still developing rapidly, and official charges or full confirmation of his role haven't been universally reported yet. This is pretty good for somebody just at home. This is probably more comprehensive. So, again, I was just talking to Noam. By the way, his nickname is 239 Layden. 239. 239. Layden. Noam. 239. Anyway, I'm looking at this guy putting pictures of grass. just. Now, here's the question. I don't know. Maybe, and Blaze, you know more about this than I do. Apparently, you care about this more because, frankly, let's face it, this is it. This is important to you. It's not to me, and I feign it well. Yuri's walking around yelling, "Who ordered the veal cutlet?" He doesn't know. Nobody knows. This picture of him at the front door, was this the night that she was abducted, or was this some other time?
That I do not know.
We don't know.
Nobody said. Yeah, no one's ever said.
Could have been another.
No one's ever said when it was. I mean, you're led to believe it was that night.
What if they said, "Hey, wait a minute, this was 2 weeks ago. You had another burglar there." Imagine this poor bastard. They get him. He goes, "I swear to God, I didn't know. I was just."
This is when he was casing the place. Yeah, 2 weeks before.
I'm just stunned. I walk up with the grass, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
And he didn't even walk up with it. Like he turned around and was like, "Oh, there's a bush. Let me just grab some grass."
I still don't know. What am I supposed to? Are you going to tape it up there? But he just held. Nah, that's not. It's like he's a set designer. I think I want to try maybe some. Got any dirt, any turf we can put up with a ring camera? Now let me ask you something. If you wanted to, honest to God, break into a place, how would you do it? How would you do it? You want to break into a house. What would you do? Assuming you're not a professional, what would you do? What would be, I'm serious. What would you do? You show up and there's lights.
I'd be wearing a ninja outfit.
Right. I'd be wearing dark.
Totally black, only eyes, if not even.
Right.
Because you could cover your eyes.
Well, also, if you're pulled over and you look like Bruce Lee or something, you don't want to look too.
If you get pulled over.
All of a sudden, you're kind of like some.
Well, you can take the mask off pretty easily.
But like some village bathhouse dance troupe, you're going to rehearsal. It's like, what is this guy? But I would most probably, assuming there's a little bit of casing, I would pick a vulnerable place. I would pick a window. I remember one time we had this thing where this guy says, you should have on your windows a little nail so that you can't lift up the. So they break the glass. Oh, yeah. Well, when you're sliding glass door, you can put a broomstick so you can't move they break the glass. You know what I would do? I'd buy one of those window smashers that we see all the time. I would go up and do doop, and this thing shatters. I get in. I'm covering. I don't know if they have a dog. Most of the times the dogs are just worthless. I bring some. I would make sure I brought whatever shoes I wore. I get rid of them. Never wear them again. No sole pattern. No nothing. Go in, and where do you go? Now, assume I don't have a lot of time. If I want to burglarize, if I see somebody, and also you got to be careful. Remember, there was a guy I represented. I'm not going to tell you his last name, but his first name was Crazy Louie. That's what they called him, and he was into home invasion, but he liked to do. He was he was like the most despised person, and I said, "What are you blaming me for? I wasn't." He got 6,000 years, but he loved to go to trailers. He said, "Trailer, you don't even. There's no any door. You could just push in the side of the. You can walk up to it, just push a wall in." But he said, "Remember, there's one thing that we don't like: dogs. Everything else, I don't care if it barks. I don't care if it's a Chihuahua. They're the worst." The smaller the dog, the more vicious and territorial they are. You can have that. They just go, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." They say, "Forget it, done, not interested." Those other ones are, eh. So I would ask, but he said, we were just, I didn't really get to know the guy, but in passing, he says, be careful somebody who goes there at night, because that means they're ready to meet you. It's one thing when you go into the daytime. That's an okay burglar. That's a guy who says he's not going to. He figures nobody's home. But somebody who does home invasion, when somebody's there at 2 a.m, they want to meet you, or they're just stupid like this stunad who walks up and anyway. So, but now that being said, I don't understand any of this. Maybe he's trying to build in this kind of a built-in insanity defense. Like all of a sudden we pulled, Blaze over. He's wearing oven mitts, a gondolier's hat, and a sash that says Miss Pomona 1963. That's in case they find me. I do the old stonada. But none of this makes any sense to me. None of this.
And also that she didn't have an alarm system. All that she had was a Nest doorbell cam
with no
alarm system in the house. I mean, I have an alarm system in my house, and when I was a kid, I'll never forget, my dad put, back in the day, they used to have those sensors that you'd put on the window. So he would just bought a bunch of sensors, attach them to the window, drilled a hole into the wall, and just put the wire into the hole to make it look like it was wired. But I'll tell you, we never got robbed.
That's right. Oh, I got a better one for you. One time, whenever they had was like Honeywell, this guy says, "Oh, look at this." He says, "I got this thing, and they got me all these other stickers." Oh, and people said, "Can I have that?" Yeah. And you put that thing in your front lawn, a little sign, protected by, or it'd be good to say like canine, warning, canine. That's a good one. And because a burglar was like, does he really mean that? There's a picture I kept on my refrigerator for years. And it turned yellowed, and I should have had it laminated, but it was this from the newspaper. It was a guy in Lake Okeechobee in the Everglades, right around there in the Everglades. This is rough. It was like a pup tent. And he had a little piece of paper in this kind of like the hee-haw scrawl. It said, "You'd better really want to come in here." I thought, wow. So that's what I would do. I would have all kinds of warnings, something that looks like, Belgian, a Malinois training, bull mastiff training, something. Of course, these people can't even read. Most of them are, let's face it, are Mexican, and you know what that's all about. Anyway, let's go.
We did have a sign that said "Beware of dog" from the previous owner, and then we did get a dog. But when we didn't have the dog, all the time, people would come to the house and they go, "Is the dog in the backyard?"
Yeah, right.
And we didn't have a dog. No, he's inside.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't want to hear there's some dogs, like I remember one time there was this, it was a Cane Corso, which is my favorite, those mastiffs. But that's the one who walks around. And there's one dog, there's a great YouTube channel, Dogumentary. And this guy, he says, there's one, I wish I knew the name of it. They love to go outside. They're not very, they love you. They know who the family is. But they say, if you have visitors, you really don't want one of these. But what they do is they're great at property. And they just go out and they do this, just to let you know, this is my area. That's the one I want to know. They don't really, you look at them and you think, no, it's okay.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now, is a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.